Hi there, my name's Andy and I work for the Pace Trust doing assemblies, RE lessons and lunchtime clubs in Poole, Bournemouth and Christchurch. I don't know if any of you were involved in Thursday nights clapping and banging things and doing a really big thank you to the NHS workers and key workers that have kept this country going during the COVID crisis. And I was thinking it is good to say thank you to people. It's nice to be thanked. There's a story in the Bible about someone saying thank you, or not saying thank you, as the case may be. In those days, people were very scared of a disease called leprosy. A bit like people are very scared of the COVID virus today. Actually, leprosy isn't contagious, but people thought it was. People thought you could catch it from people. And so people who had leprosy had to self-isolate. They had to live away from their friends and families outside the city. In fact, they even had to have a bell they rang and shout unclean, unclean whenever they were going anywhere so people could hear the bell and get out of the way. 10 lepers were there, they were a little group of them, and they came to Jesus. And instead of Jesus running away from them, Jesus came and spoke to them. And he told them that they were healed and told them to go and show themselves to the priest to prove that they were healed. A little bit later, a man ran up to him, one of the lepers, and said, thank you so much. Look at me, I'm completely better. And Jesus said, brilliant, but weren't there 10 of you? And he said, yeah, but only one came back to say thank you. He said, weren't the others healed? And they went, yeah, all 10 were healed, but only one came back to say thank you. I was thinking about my life and thinking, do I always say thank you? Or am I so busy rushing around that I forget to say thank you? I want you to take a minute to maybe think in your heart and your mind some things you want to say thank you to, maybe some people who have been kind to you or nice to you at this time. Maybe too you want to say thank you to God for some things. As a Christian, I want to say thank you to God for beautiful weather. I want to say thank you to God for friends and family. I want to say thank you to God for all sorts of nice things. Things that are beautiful, things that are pretty, things that are fun. And I was thinking, the ancient Celtic Christians used to think about every breath we take is a gift from God. Breathe in, and as we breathe out, that's a gift from God. Everything we do, every beat of our heart is a gift from God that we could say thank you for. So how do we develop an attitude of gratitude? How can we live and say thank you for the good things that we have? We sometimes get confused between when we're given a gift and we need to say thank you for it and what we've already earned. When someone gives you wages, you've earned those. But when someone gives you a gift, that's something they've given to you. It's an unearned present. So think about the difference between gift and earning. The Bible talks about God giving us good gifts. Every breath we take is unearned. Every beat of our heart is unearned. All the beautiful things that are around us, He's given us them freely. The thing with earning things, as opposed to having a gift, is sometimes I've been given things that I can't afford. I couldn't afford a new car or a house, but people have helped me to be able to afford them. They've given me gifts. And I was thinking with God, I couldn't be really, really good and afford all the goodness that God's given us, because however high I try reaching up to Him, however many good things I do, I'll never get there. But God, rather than us reaching up and doing what we cannot do, God reaches down to us and gives a gift that we could never afford. He gave His life for us so that we could be His friends. He died and rose again for us. We couldn't afford it, but He gave it to us free of charge for us to accept. We sometimes need things to help remind us to say thank you or to be thankful. one of the things Christians often do when they get together is they meet up and remember what God has done for them in Jesus, what Jesus did for us. They'll give you a little bit of bread to remind you of Jesus' body that was broken, and a little sip of wine to remind you of Jesus' blood that was shed. And they say, take, eat this, and remember that Christ's body was broken for you, and be thankful. Some Christians call this special meal Eucharist, which is, if you want to know a posh Greek word, is the Greek word for thanksgiving or thank you. So I was thinking today, what am I thankful for? Lots of things that we can say thank you to God for. Lots of things we can say thank you to one another for. How can we live out an attitude of gratitude? So should we just have a quick prayer to close? Dear God, thank you that you are generous and that you are kind. Help us to be generous and thankful and show gratitude to you and to other people that give us things. Help us to remember to say thank you. Thank you that you give us things we could never earn, we could never afford to pay for it all. But you give it to us because you're kind and you're generous and you love us. Amen.